This way?
No, turn it back the other way. You're good. Right there.
This? Okay.
Yep. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Women Can Do Show. I am your host, Rochelle Sawyer Cobb, and I have with me the amazing Noel Paris Fit Davis. Welcome to the show, Noel.
Thank you so much for having me, Rochelle. How are you?
I am well and I am excited for you
Thank
to
you.
share all the good things with the people today.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm very excited. So thank you so much for taking the time out to interview me. It's a complete honor.
Definitely, definitely. So, our topic today is practicing great health and fitness as a lifestyle. So, before we get into who Paris Fit is, which is I can't wait to hear that, how you came up with that name, just briefly tell us who is Noel, your upbringing, education, where you come from.
Okay. So my name is Noel Davis. I am originally from New Jersey, born and raised, and I moved to Philadelphia in 2016. And originally, I was an archaeologist. So I went to Rutgers University. I also studied at Manchester University and did my first dig in Italy. I was very excited to become an archaeologist. I wanted to do it from the age of 12 years old. So to
Wow.
actually live out that dream and be an archaeologist was something that I was very proud of.
Yeah.
Especially you always see archaeologists not looking like ourselves. So
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of that from friends and family saying, "You'll never be an archaeologist. You're not going to do it. Archaeologist doesn't look like you. They don't make any money. They don't do this." I heard everything that you could think of that could have been discouraging, but I had one person that believed in me, and that was my mother. And so
Wow.
my mother did everything that she could, from driving all the way to Atlanta to check out
Yeah.
universities, telling me to do my study abroads, everything that you could think of, even down to high school. I went to a trade school called Burlington County Institute of Technology. And all my friends were in cosmetology. And I was like, I want to do hair. I want to do makeup. All my
Yeah.
friends are in there. And she said, no, you're going to do drafting. And it was all these boys in the class. And I was like, I don't want to do drafting. And she's like, you
Wow.
want to be an archaeologist, right? You're going to do drafting. And
Mhm.
her telling me to do that, fast forward to me actually being an archaeologist, I was probably one of the most sharpest when it came to doing the foundation and the blueprint of where we were excavating. So it
Yeah.
literally took one person to believe in me.
Mm.
And I became that archaeologist like literally 2 months after graduating college, which is unheard of. I had
Wow.
my first federal project on I-95 as an archaeologist. And literally, as I was living out my dream, I had a car accident.
Wow.
And the car accident changed my life.
Yeah.
I have lower lumbar bulges down my back. I have nerve damage down my legs. I cut my head open 10 centimeters and I tore my neck in 4 places.
Mm.
I was bedridden. I was losing my memory. It was a lot that was happening.
Yeah.
And with all of that happening, I had to figure something out. Long time of being in physical therapy and so forth, nothing was working. And I was like, what can I do to get back to archaeology?
Yeah.
And my doctor was so fed up with me asking. Literally, we would shut the door and I say, "Hey, I'm here to get straight to the point. What can I do?"
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll be honest with you. I don't want you to do surgery." He said, "Because you're too young."
Yeah.
And at that time, he said, if you were to do any type of back surgery, your back will never be the same. So he told me to
Mhm.
go in the gym and work on my core. And I'm like, this guy is literally playing with me because I'm telling him I want to get better. And he's suggesting that I go into the gym. And
Yeah.
he said, no, when you build your core, your back strength will get better.
Mhm.
And it was the best advice that I ever gotten because at that time I already had my gym membership. I was working for the YMCA part
Uh-huh.
time. So for my background, I have a degree in anthropology and also geological science. So
Wow.
I had a part-time job curating a program called Watershed Education by Bike, teaching the kids about the watershed and so forth while getting them moving. So
Yeah.
I had already had my membership at the YMCA and I went. I met a young lady and I was like, I want to look like you. And she said, well, I want to look like you. And we became gym buddies. And and I would just never forget we were so consistent. And then little did you know, one day it was a Saturday. I was like, let's go to the gym. She was like, we never work out on the weekend. I was like, I don't know. You know, when you're locked in, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You're just locked
Yeah.
in. I was like,
Yeah.
let's go to the gym. And she was like, okay. And when I finished my workout, a lady said, I've watched you from your day one. when you struggled. And now I see you doing hanging abs, pull
Mhm.
ups, everything. And I'm just amazed at how fast you were able to do that. And she
Yeah.
said, I want to get you certified as a personal trainer because I know that you will help thousands of people. And to kind of
Wow.
fast forward where we are today, she was
Yeah.
right. And at first, when she said it, I was the same way how I was at the doctor. I was like, this lady doesn't know I'm getting back right so I can go back excavating as an archaeologist. I can't
Right.
paying this woman no mind. And she said, please, I'll pay for it. Whether you want to do it or not, just please let me pay for it for you. And I love Colleen to this day. For years I
Yeah.
couldn't remember who she was. I couldn't find her information or anything. And I came across it in a full circle moment. And it was just like, wow, this lady saw everything before I did. And sometimes we come across people that do see that for us. It's just a matter of what information we take with us and what we actually add into our lives.
You know what's interesting? How you with when you became an archaeologist, how your mom, you said, was that one person that believed in you,
Mhm,
right? And
mhm,
then you did a total pivot, right, into
mhm.
becoming a personal trainer, and it was that one Colleen that
One person.
believed in you. That I mean, that is so
It
oh my gosh.
Yes. It gives you chills, especially like the
Yeah,
different things in life because really we're all here on earth to help other people.
that's right.
And I will truly say, like, God has placed an angel and
Yeah,
allowed every angel to have a full circle moment, right? Everybody
yeah.
said I wouldn't be an archaeologist. I was able to show my mom. I lived out a dream. Even now to this day, I don't want to say her name, the A lady or like
Mhm.
Siri, you would say you would say it and you would say, who's the archaeologist turned personal trainer? And they'll say it back. And I
Yeah.
said, Mom, look at this. Google it. I told my mom, I said, we did that. So to be able to
Wow.
have that full circle, or even now, Colleen seeing where I am in life, knowing
Yeah.
that she said that, or even down to Mike Jarek, he's a news person on Fox 29, he's a news
Mhm.
anchor. I met him at a holiday party and he just said, you're a true dynamo. I gotta get you on the news. Never been
Yeah.
on the news a day in my life. That man had me co-host the entire Good Day of Philadelphia for the first time. I was on air for 5 hours. And here I am now doing every news station in Philadelphia because one person. And
One
that's why I feel
person.
like my story is so powerful because I want people to understand all you need is one person to believe in you.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
sometimes you may not ever have that one person, but if you believe in yourself,
There you go.
it will ignite other people to believe in you. And I feel
Yeah.
like if more people understood that and more people realize there's true power in believing in yourself because you'll grab one person on your team. It's not about the
Exactly.
millions that congratulate you. It's about
Mm.
the one and two that's been there when you're down, when you're
That's right.
low, when you're sad to uplift you. And it's so perfect because for example, the day that I was on that hospital bed, um it it was really a change for me, right? Because they didn't
Mhm.
know what was going to happen, and to be able to go through my training and have my story and to tell people my story, I made it into my first magazine in Canada. This is another
Mm.
full story moment. um Once my dad saw me, my dad was one of the people that said I wasn't going to do the archaeology thing and made no money.
Yeah.
Once he saw me in the clothes, he's like, my daughter's an archaeologist. So, so when I became that
Like she
personal,
really did it.
he really did it. So I made him
Yeah.
a believer. So
Yeah.
if I told him I was going to open up a farm and be a gardener or anything, my dad will believe it now
He will
because he
believe it.
knows
Yeah.
whatever I say I'm going to do. And so when I told him I was going to be a trainer, he was like, okay. But when I told him I was going to be in a magazine, my very first magazine in Canada, I said, I'm going to be in a magazine. Do you mind coming with me? And he was like, sure, I'll take the trip. That's my
Mhm.
flying buddy.
Yeah.
When we went, the insert was about this big in the back of the book. My dad was
Wow.
so proud. I was
Yeah.
proud. I was happy. I said,
Yeah.
oh my God, I made it in my first magazine. Even though it wasn't in America, I was still happy.
Right.
Fast forward 4 years later, my dad was able to still be alive to see me on the front cover of a
Mm.
magazine that not only was in Canada, but it was all through North America.
Wow.
So God continues to give me those full circle
Yeah.
moments with people. And I tell people literally it's a journey that I'm on, but I
Mm,
feel the reason why the blessings come is because I truly understand my purpose and I'm
yep.
living through my purpose right now. And that purpose is to help others understand the powers of our bodies, the
Yeah.
fun and the happiness within movement. And
Yeah.
so I get up each and every day. I don't drink a coffee or a Red Bull to get my day started. I'm starting just knowing that I'm making a difference in somebody's life. Every
Yeah.
single day, I'm making a
Yeah.
difference in somebody's life. And that
That's
is what truly ignites me to keep going.
yeah. And it's so fulfilling. Like I get it. Like it's almost an experience, right? I call it an experience. Walking
Yes,
in your purpose, it's an experience. It's like the most beautiful thing. You know what I
yes,
mean? And like you said, you know for a fact that you are helping the lives of others every day.
yes.
You know, and you're so passionate about it. You wake up with the intent to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it and just the way that God brought you to that. Like you in your mind, hey, my purpose is to be an archaeologist. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You didn't
Yep.
even know, like, you were going to be a personal trainer and actually serve people in that because I think some people don't even think of what they do at that level, as serving. Some people think
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it's a job, but you have to think within that job, are you serving anyone? Who are you truly serving? And is that your true purpose? That's our mission at I Can Do is to empower women and girls to walk and live in their true purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a beautiful thing. So how did you come first of all, Paris Spit, where did the name give us that? I need to understand where the name came from.
Paris was just a nickname that I like fake gave myself. And my friends kind of helped me with it. It's
Uh-huh,
actually a funny story. I had a little stalker when I was younger, but I
uh-huh.
was the only Noel in my town. So it's easy for him to say, hey, you know where Noel lives? And he knew where I lived. So I was like, I need a nickname. And my dad used to
Wow.
travel to Paris all the time. So I had
Yeah,
everything that said Paris. It said
yeah.
like Paris shirts, a Paris sock, a Paris mirror, and I just always fell in love with how beautiful the writing was. So I wore everything that
Wow.
said Paris, and my friends were like, "Just call yourself Paris. You wear it at
Yeah.
yourself all the time, anyways." So that was like a nickname that stood with me, and it was like when you go out with your girls, you don't want to really give your real name when you were
Ye
younger. You like had like a little fake name. And so that nickname, it was honestly Miss Paris Davis. So I changed my Facebook to Miss Paris Davis. And I
yeah.
had that for many years. So then when it was time to create a business name, I was like, Paris Fit.
Why not? I mean, and I like that. Like, it sounds good. But I
Yes.
never would have thought that was the story behind
Oh,
the name.
that was a story. Oh, it was a little stalker. And the thing is, yeah, he didn't like the fact that I wasn't talking to him. So
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
when
uh-huh.
he ended up finding where I live, it was like, hey, why are you? It was just for clarity, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
So
yeah,
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 that's how
yeah,
that happened.
yeah.
But I was
So
like, this
tell
will never happen again. He's gonna be like, where
right,
does Paris live? And nobody's gonna know who Paris is.
right.
But then now, right? Everybody knows Paris Fit. So
Yeah. And
that helped.
I saw a clip of your clips on Fox News.
Yes.
Fox 29 News out there in Philadelphia. That was like really amazing. And I love how they had you like do a whole demonstration.
Yes. And they
Yeah.
had me on there so many times. I probably been on the news in Philadelphia probably 30, 40
Yeah.
times probably
It,
by
it was it
now.
was
I
two ladies I think you were on there with.
Yes, that's when I was talking about office bums.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 It's always something. And what I love about it is I pitch to them about something I may
Mhm.
have coming up. They reach out to me to ask me. That was something that they asked me to come on for. It was a
And it
hot
really
topic.
adds it really
Yeah.
added to it like just a little it was fun, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
interactive. That's what I love about Fox 29. It's a very interactive, and even my very first exercise that I had, well, segment that I had, I came on the news and they were like, come on, fun. So I walked in and my arms was open and they were like, look at her goals. And it's so funny because when I ended up becoming a cover girl, they
Mhm.
did my feature to announce that I was a cover girl, and they
Wow.
showed that video from back
Yeah.
then, and they were like, look at how far she's come. So they have been a part of my Fox 29, I would say specifically, has been a part of my journey since
Mm.
day one. When I opened
Wow.
up my fitness studio, they ended up doing the showing for that. They literally have been my number one. So thank you, Mike Jarrett. If you get to see this, thank you. I always thank him. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for him, I don't feel like I would have had the confidence on the news and having that interview. I have a 92-year-old, and she's like, you couldn't even pay for that type of advertisement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that that was my one person into the
Yeah.
segue of getting on the news. So
Wow.
yes.
So when did you what so you became a personal trainer and then you opened now it's Paris Fit Studio, is that an actual physical
That was a
studio
physical
location?
location. Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know, but I actually did a pivot this year. This is my first year without my studio. I had my studio for
Okay.
5 years.
Oh wow.
And this is my year that I kind of want to go more into the community and not be
Mhm.
locked into the four walls.
Yep.
And I've been able to do just that. In the last 11 months, we did, in the last 10 months, we did the Wells Fargo Center, which
Uh
was unheard of. It was history the first time, and then we did it two more times. I call it Paris Fit and Friends.
mhm.
We worked with the Wings, the Flyers, and the Sixers. And then now we did the flower show, which was great. We did Blossom and Breathe, which was a silent yoga experience. And
Wow.
then now we're doing my national workout day this May 3rd. And we have almost like 280 confirmed people that
Yeah.
want to do it. And we just announced it on Friday. So the expectation is to at least have 500 people for this event. So this is definitely my year of getting into the community and doing a little
Mhm.
bit more and
Mhm.
seeing what that's like. My life has been all about pivot and
Yeah.
seeing what works best and seeing, what does it look like. Do I want another gym? Yes, but
Yeah.
I want to see what it's like for probably like a year or two.
Yeah. I mean, and
Hmm.
that's a good I like that because so I'm gonna tell so it's almost like I don't like so we have a full-on gym in our garage, right?
Hmm.
Um, all types of equipment. I just cannot that is so boring to me. I just cannot work out. And I've had people tell me like, "Oh, that'll come in there and see it like, why are you going to the gym?" And it's like I have to go different places. Like, you know what I mean? I like I can't walk on a treadmill. I have to go outside
Hmm.
to walk. I have to go to the gym to just kind of have that whole,
Hmm.
gym atmosphere. So I get it. It seems more fulfilling doing that when you're going
Yes.
out, right, into the like, I'm just
Yes.
saying that to say I get it how, you making that pivot to just kinda start going out into the community and do these different events.
And it's been more. I
Mhm.
now have different apartment buildings that I'm their fitness director
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
I'm in more senior homes.
Mhm.
Any business owner out there, I cut costs. I don't have a large overhead anymore. I
Right.
was in Old City. It's very expensive.
Mhm.
And I did that for 5 years, so you can imagine. But if I was able to put almost $500,000 into somebody else's mortgage, I'm pretty sure I could do my own way and
Exactly.
open up my own space, and
Exactly.
have it as my building. So that's
Yeah,
the goal.
yeah,
The goal is ownership now. So
yeah.
to say it's my building, will be a little bit more fulfilling for me. But I love my gym. It was all pink, number one pink gym in Philadelphia, 4.9 rating for 5 years.
Wow.
That was very impressive. But if I needed to take that step, and sometimes God will force you to
Mhm,
move when
mhm.
it's time to move. If it was up to me, I probably would have renewed my lease for another 5 years. um but I just feel like it was time. Like
Yeah,
there will be signs to say, hey, it's time to go.
yeah,
You
yeah.
did all that you needed to do. And so I'm, like I said, I'm grateful for the space. The space has propelled my business in ways unimaginable. I honestly, truly don't think I would have gotten the recognition
Mhm.
and the different accolades that I did get, without having that space. So it
Yep.
served this purpose to the highest magnitude. But now it's just time to move and
Move
elevate,
around.
in a
Yeah.
different way.
That's so
And
important.
at
Yeah,
first I said, well, maybe I'll be an online coach, but that wasn't in the plan for me. Yes, I online
yeah.
coach, but that's not all. So
Yeah.
now my goal is to be able to provide the community with large scale fitness events to help lower the obesity rate in Philadelphia.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So, how just share, you mentioned about strengthening, how you had to strengthen your core. So, I just to FYI, I had an accident like I was, I think 21. It was like my first car accident. And of course, the whole back, right? My back was not bad, but I still have, back pain to this day, but
Hmm.
not as much as I was. And so what I found out, I was working out and all this and walking every day. And I'm like, why do I still have back pain? And so I had a wellness coach, and she was training me too, my goddaughter. So she's like, you need to strengthen your core. If you
Hmm.
strengthen, she's like, we got to start there. If you strengthen your core, that
Hmm.
back pain is going to subside. She's like, I promise you, if you
Yes.
strengthen your core, right? So I'm
Yes.
thinking, I'm like, I've been uh doing weights, I do all of these things for years and blah blah blah. Like, what is she, what is she? And when I tell you it, I have not, let me see, over a year now, I haven't experienced that
And
the
back
back
pain.
pain. Yeah,
I
I have
don't
not
I don't
experienced
feel
it.
any of my pain. So what the
Yeah,
real trick is, and I feel like a lot of physical therapists don't tell you that, right? Because it's all about money.
right.
For a lot of them. You have to build the muscles around the problem. And when
Mm,
you build the muscles around the problem, it makes it easier. So I'm
yep.
also a rehabilitation trainer. A lot of my
Okay.
clientele are that 60, 80. I just signed up a 94-year-old yesterday.
Wow.
Um, so if you have a knee problem, you build your quads, you work on your calves, you work
Hmm.
on your lower leg. If you have a shoulder problem, you build everything around that in order to solve your problem.
Hmm.
And you have to, the one key, are you ready for this? A lot of people are not going to like this. You have to be patient with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight.
Overnight.
That goes
Yep.
for anybody. Even if
Yeah.
you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to build muscle, I feel like we live in such a world where people are seeing instant results or they're
Yeah.
showing instant results or I
Yeah.
took this shake and I lost 40 pounds in three
Hmm.
weeks or I ended up drinking and just juicing and I'm down 100 pounds.
Yeah.
That may work for that person, but we are all different people. So when you learn to understand that your journey is going to be a little bit different than the next person, it will make life easier. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, now what you're doing is you're telling your brain, I'm not capable because I do not have the same results as the person I saw on social media.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now it makes your process of
So
you
true.
getting to that result just that much harder because it's already out of your mind. So the
Yeah.
92-year-old, the 94-year-old that I'm training, sorry, my 92-year-old referred my 94-year-old. Isn't that cute? So the 94-year-old has a fear
Wow.
of walking. She's very timid to walk because she's afraid to fall. Apple
Yeah.
Watch told her her balance is bad and she's most likely to fall in the next year. I don't agree why Apple Watch did that, but that is a feature that they have, which I think that they should remove. Apple, if you ever come across this or anybody that works for them, let them know my
Right.
input. I didn't like that. But her whole thing is I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. So you
Mm,
know what I start her off with? When we start our sessions, I make her say I can 4 times.
yeah.
When we end our session, I make her say I can 4 times. There
Yeah.
was another client that I have, a male, and he has a problem where he gets out of breath very fast. And he
Hmm.
fainted before. He hit his head. It was a whole thing that happened. And so now he's with me, and it's almost 50 years since then. And guess what it was all along? He just doesn't breathe. He doesn't have a breathing problem. He just holds his breath.
Wow.
It's something so small. So what
Yeah.
we do breath work. We inhale for 8 counts, exhale for 8 counts. We go all the way down to three. It's breath work. So now, and I've been able to see it, and I picked this up just from a virtual call. We don't see
Mm,
each other in person. It's
yeah.
virtual.
Yeah.
And literally what the doctors are prescribing him this and all that, And all it was just he doesn't breathe. When he's
Wow.
working out or doing something, he's so focused in what he's doing that he's like, breathe.
Wow.
Focus on breathing. When
Mhm,
you and
mhm.
it's as simple as when you grab a glass, exhale,
Eh,
put it back down. Start with that.
yeah, yeah,
Focus on breathing. A lot of people, you have a lower pouch, but you're not big, and it's just bulgy, and you're like, oh, what is that? Your posture is wrong.
yeah.
Tighten your core. Engage your core regularly. When you learn to engage your core regularly, now you'll be doing your exercises more properly.
Mhm.
Your back probably won't hurt as much and you won't slouch. You'll be
Yeah.
the highest in the room. You'll be sitting up straight. So when people understand that there's a the res- the solution is much smaller than
It
what the
is
big problem really is.
it
And
is.
when you get, so it's when I want to lose weight, I will lose weight. Having starting with that mindset. It's all about your mindset first. I didn't go into that gym when I started working out and rehabilitating myself and saying, this is hard. I said, no, I want to get back to archaeology. I gotta do what I gotta do.
Mm,
The millionaire is not sitting around saying this is hard. He's saying,
come
I want to be a
on.
millionaire. I wanted to be a millionaire. I'm gonna be a millionaire. And he's doing what he needed to do.
Yeah, yeah,
So I feel like a lot of it goes with believing in yourself and being patient with
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
I promise you, my failures are probably is bigger than the wins that everybody always.
Mhm. Wait, did she go off?
Can you see me?
Yep.
Sorry about that. The it's probably bigger than any of the wins that you've seen, and the reason why I appreciate those failures, I've never looked at a failure and say I'm upset. Now I am a little complainer, so to my friends and family, yes, you do have to baby me a little bit. But when it comes to the public eye, after they speak to me and I'm able to release how I feel,
Mm,
I go into my corner and I figure out, well, what can I do so that this never happens again?
yeah,
Or what can I do to make this better? I get told no probably more times than the average person. But I tell you, those yeses are neck and neck.
that one
And
yes.
I'm okay with hearing no.
Yep.
I'm fine with hearing no. And when you get to a space where you know that you're great in whatever it is that you're doing,
Yeah,
and you know deep down inside, I got to believe in me and I got to work on myself and I got to do this differently so that I have a different outcome, your process will be so much smoother on
yeah.
a daily basis. The things that I think of the impossible. One day I'm going to have a workout on the White House lawn. I don't know when,
Mhm,
but it's going to happen. I think of the impossible. I went
mhm,
to a Sixers game and sat courtside with my best friend, and she said, you better enjoy these last few minutes because this is the last time we're going to do this for a while because courtside
mhm.
seats are very expensive. I
Yeah.
said, this is the last time for you. And I looked up at the
Right.
jumbotron. I said, this ain't the last time for me.
Right.
I walked in that stadium with it
Come on.
saying Paris Fit. You ready
Yeah.
for this? About 100 people with me.
Wow.
And you ready for this too? I had all my friends on that jumbotron with me.
Mm.
So it wasn't just me. I brought people along, and I feel
There you go.
like when I realized in my business, it's not you by yourself, you're never going to do it.
Right.
That's why I said we're here to help other people and to
Yeah,
work with other people.
yeah,
The day that I realized it's not about me, it's about the community. The day that I realized I don't have to be the star of the show,
yeah,
I can share that stage with people,
yeah,
is the day that all of it changed.
yeah, yeah.
And I feel like when more people understand that in whatever field it is that they're in, right? If you're a designer, you're probably not going to always collaborate with another designer because it may be a little clash.
Right,
But
right.
bring in
But
talented people into your business that can
that's what I
help
was gonna
you
say. You
build
can
your
still
brand.
bring.
There's
Mhm.
still a way to incorporate. It's about incorporating people. When we get
Yeah,
out of that mindset of feeling I can do everything by myself, you will burn yourself out.
yeah. Yeah.
And so I would definitely say whatever in this lifetime that I was supposed to that I was supposed to go through or figure out, I feel like I'm uncovering the reasoning why each and every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
It's never about me. And who's
Mhm.
to say maybe I became this personal trainer because there's one, sometimes there's only one person that you're on this earth to touch. One.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the person that I'm supposed to really touch, I didn't touch them yet. But
Mhm.
sometimes we have to realize that whatever our purpose is, and you too, you may not have
Yeah.
done that in that one interview
Yeah.
that you are supposed to do.
Mhm.
So that is why I truly love the fact that I'm able to work with so many people on a daily
Yeah.
basis and to hear their happiness and to see their joy.
Yeah.
I tell people are like, what's your motivation? Others' happiness.
Listen.
That's truly my joy.
Like,
I love
I
seeing
get
other people
when I
happy.
tell you that fulfills me to see someone else win, and I've always as a kid, I was
Mhm.
like that, to see
Yeah.
someone else win. Like, it just,
I love seeing
I'm
other
like,
people's happiness.
yeah,
You'll never see me on Instagram with somebody driving a fancy car and going shopping and doing all this other stuff and saying, "Oh, that's not me. That's
yeah,
not me. I don't like it. I'm happy.
come
One
on.
day that will be me." It turned out one day I'm the person that I was looking at.
Yep,
And it's all because I didn't live a life where I was hating. I
yeah,
lived a life where I was happy. And when you live a life where you're happy for others, things will
yeah,
happen for you
it's gonna
more rapidly.
mm,
You have to be happy for others. And we got
yeah,
to get out of that mind state too of, you know what I hate? When people say, oh, you'll be blessed. Like you're going to be blessed. Like say
yeah,
you donate something about, oh, God is going to bless you.
uh-huh,
I'm not doing it for God to bless me. I'm doing it because I want to do it.
you wanna
If
do
God
it.
blesses me, great. But
Yeah,
I'm not doing it to say, well, if I, because some people do it, they be like, oh, I'm going to get my blessings
mhm, mhm,
because I'm doing this.
mhm,
Got to get out of that mind state.
yeah,
It's all about your mind.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel like when more people believe that, that goes for everything. And even like with the personal training now, I'm not where I want to be.
mhm,
Yes, to somebody else, they may look at everything I'm doing and say, wow, that is where I want to be. But there, I know that there's so much more. And the
yeah,
reason why I say that is because if I was able to live my dream as an archaeologist, I know that dreams are true. So
yeah,
it makes this journey just that more fulfilling to say, just keep going, just keep going.
keep
It took
going,
me 10 years to be an archaeologist. Just keep going, just keep
keep
going.
going.
And so it's like I'm already looking back. I posted yesterday. Jessica was my very first client. I went to a doctor's appointment and saw her in the in the literally the parking lot. And I gave her
Mhm,
my business card. And she was like, "Oh, I want to train with you. We used to train at Planet Fitness." Yesterday she saw me as a wellness director at one of my apartment buildings. And it's been 8 years.
wow,
You look back and I'm like, wow, I've really been doing this for 8 years. And I
yeah,
feel like sometimes people don't realize you can't look at what somebody else has because you don't know how long it took them to get
there you
there.
go. Yeah, yeah,
And so that's why it's like, okay, they say you don't master a craft until you put 100,000 hours in. I'm saying I don't think you master a craft till you put 1 million in.
mhm,
I
mhm.
dream about work. I'm literally sleep and I dream about work. I
Yeah,
dreamt about what Wells Fargo Center would look like. And
yeah,
my
yeah,
dream stopped at the Jumbotron. So when I
mhm,
went in there, I looked at the Jumbotron, that was exactly where my dream ended, and I was able to live through everything else. And those are the sweet moments. And so
yeah,
like with my story, I always say it like when I go through things that are hard or things that are rough, or I do have those accomplishments and those accolades, I always say I can't wait until I really get to that level that I really want to see myself at,
yeah,
because I know I'm going to be sitting in a crowd and I'm going to touch somebody who just needs that push.
mm,
I just can't wait to be sitting on that large panel
yeah,
and to say my truth and to talk about what I've been through to touch somebody
that's
else.
somebody else, yeah,
And so,
and
like,
at the
that
end of the
is
day,
what
that's
keeps
what
me
it's all
going.
about. At the
Hmm.
end of the day, that's and you know how I love how you said if it's just that one person, A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times people get caught up in numbers, like, I need to reach all of these people.
Mm-mm.
If you my thing, if I reach that one person, you know what I mean? Of course, you're gonna strive to reach, anyone that you can along the way, right, during this journey. But if I can help one person,
One. Because you want to know why? I understand that because one person helped
goes
me.
back
That's
to
how
what
we bring it back.
you said.
One person
Yep,
helped me.
one person. Yeah,
My
yeah.
very first
Change your
event,
life,
mhm,
like,
changed my life.
literally.
Changed my life. Even when I
Yeah,
came to Philadelphia, when I moved to Philadelphia, I still wasn't personal training.
yeah.
I met a girl in the gym and she said,
Mhm.
I want to work out with you. Once again, a gym
Yeah.
buddy, right? Everybody needs somebody accountable. Sarah. And she said, girl, I started losing weight and my back feels good and my body feels good. You should personal train. I was like, well, I do have a certification. She said, you need business cards. I said,
Mhm.
I don't know where. She's like, there's this site called Vistaprint. Let's make them. I said, well, where are you going to put them? She said, in the bathroom. I said, Planet Fitness is going to kick us out.
Yeah,
Now look at me.
yeah.
It's it's always been one person. God just keeps putting these angels in my life.
In your
One
path.
person.
Mhm.
One person. That's
Yeah.
it. Even my 92-year-old, right? From her, this person that she just referred, the 94-year-old,
Mm.
makes 14 people she's referred to me.
Wow.
When I met her, I ended up meeting her poker
Mhm.
friend, her poker's friend grandson, her poker's friend's son, trained the brother, the sister, the mom, the aunt, the great aunt, the cousin, the friend. It's one person.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
one person. So the power that we all hold within us, we don't know it. We
Mhm.
don't understand. I don't feel like humans truly understand the power that we have to change others' lives. Somebody else is going to change your life. You're not always going to change your life by yourself.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always somebody else that's going to do it.
Yeah.
So when we understand that our purpose is to probably change somebody else's life and somebody else will change our lives, I feel like it would just make life be a lot smoother. We're living in a really trying time
We are.
where
Yeah.
people left and right, jobs, homes,
Yeah.
they're struggling. Our economy is all over the place. It's up and down. Our emotions with the news,
Yeah.
everything is up and down. And people are losing themselves in the mix of that.
Mm.
And I feel like people just need to have just what they used to say in church. If you just have a mustard seed of faith,
Mustard seed, honey. The
that's what, and that's so
faith
for
of a
all.
mustard seed.
Yeah, and that's just for all. I feel like I'm so surrounded by all business owners, and I just hear how they talk down and say the economy is bad,
Yeah.
everything is wrong. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing this. If you're listening, you're a business owner, try something else.
Yep.
And what I mean, try something in your business, try something different. Pivot. Chat GPT is my best friend. I talk to Chat GPT every single day.
Mhm.
I call him Chad. Piggyback ideas off. See what you could do different.
Yeah.
Reinvent the wheel. It's not over. It's not over until you pull the plug. And
The
sometimes people are so quick to want to pull the plug when they're right there.
yeah.
You may need to go through this time. I tell people I opened up my fitness studio in January. March 17th, I had to shut down until September 2021.
Mhm.
I built a gym from ground up and had to close it
Yeah.
for a year and a half. I
Yeah.
had to pivot. That's how I created Gym in a Box, my
Yeah.
product. A pivot. Life is about pivoting. And when people are more acceptable to wanting to pivot, I feel like life will be better for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and oh my gosh, you just said a mouthful. And it is so important. And I love how you mentioned that, how people are getting so caught up in, what's going on with the economy, watching the news all the time. And it's almost like people are taking that burden and personalizing it. And
You
it's like
take the,
it's like
mm-hmm.
you're accepting this defeat. It's like that hasn't even affected you yet. And it may not even affect you. So
Mm,
why are you living in that moment and it's not
yes.
even here?
Yes. Yes. No, you're so right. They're living in that moment. So it's great to always know, right? Keep your ears and
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
no. Knowing is half the battle. Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
Once you know exactly how to move. I know the tariffs are
There
going
you
up. I
go.
have product. I'm talking to my manufacturer right now.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
what can we do? We got to figure this out. You figure out a way how to pivot. You figure out a way how to
Yep.
navigate in life. If you know business is a little bit slower right now, it's okay to text those clients and say, hey, you, thinking about you. It's been
Yeah.
a while. Are you interested in our services? Ba, ba, ba. You may have to discount a little bit just to draw them back in.
Mhm.
There's ways for you to soar in your business.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the power of the internet and social media and everything that we have right now, those possibilities are far beyond our mental now.
Mhm.
You just got to be willing to put that work in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you have a 94-year-old client.
Yes.
So I want to ask you this. What do you have like a client success story? Like you know how people say you have a rose and a thorn. What is the rose of your journey in your fitness business? What
I have
give me
so many of them. And
I
anybody that
know.
has time after this, you could Google Paris Fit Studios and hear it all. I'll run a few.
Yeah.
Um, Let me start with one of my top ones. I will say rest in peace, Mr. Mike. That was one of my clients I had. He was
Mhm.
93.
Wow.
And I would go to Mr. Mike before the pandemic. And he was always falling over. He'll stand up and he'll fall over. So his daughter ended up having me come in. And so I went in and we worked out for a while. We did a lot of sit to stands holding his walker and all that. We tried
Mhm.
to use his walker and getting him moving and making him more mobile because he was in his wheelchair.
Mhm.
And after working out with him for so long, one day he got up and he put his hands straight down and stood up. He said,
Aw.
take my picture.
Yeah.
And his daughter couldn't believe it. She said, oh my God, did he fall over? I said, no. After that, he asked, can he use his walker to go into the lunchroom? And
Wow.
you know what they said? They said, walking looks good on you, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what he told me? He said, I knew I always could do it. I just didn't
Yeah.
do it.
Wow.
Like you made it possible for me to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that. I had
That
another
that
77, I have another 77-year-old. When she came to my gym, I used to have a step. She used to fall over. She was so frail. And we started training. I would never forget when the pandemic happened. She came and handed me $1,000 check. And I said, what's this for? She's like, for you. I was like, we're not going to be training anymore, though. She said, it's okay. We'll figure it out. I've been training with that lady online ever since the pandemic. She called
wow.
me one day and said, Noel, she said, I almost fell over. Ken was on his phone, but I was able to keep myself up. I used my core muscles and it was revolutionary.
Oh
And
my
that
gosh.
made me smile. It made
Yeah.
me smile, but I feel like other success stories that will always like really make me feel amazing is I have four Paris Fit babies. I have four women that came into my gym or trained with me that say they were never able to get pregnant. And
Mm.
we changed their mindset. We changed the way they ate. We changed the way that they moved their bodies.
Yeah.
And they all had babies.
Wow.
So I
Yeah,
have
now
four Paris Fit babies.
that is listen. First of all, I asked that because I know like so when I was working with my trainer and wellness coach, I started off with like, okay, I got back issues and knee issues. So there's certain things that I cannot do, right?
Hmm.
But I'm the I can do, right? So there's certain, so she kept reminding me, like, okay, Miss I can do. And so I'm like, oh no, my back, da da da. Da. And so at it was a year and I actually surpassed my goal, right? But I fought through all of that. Like she helped strengthen my core, the whole core. That's why when you mentioned the
Hmm.
core, I that just resonated with me. Helped strengthen the core, at the end, it was, and another thing, I was like, because I'm 53, right? So I was
You
what, I
look
think
great.
51, right? So I'm like, okay, you're over 50, like you don't have to go that hard. Just kind of do. I'm not going to be able to do what I did, when I was 35, when I
Hmm.
lost weight or whatever. So, but I did. I like even pushed harder. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I even pushed harder and did. I was even like the weights I was pushing in. Now I'm older than now, right? Than when I first started out, working out years ago. And I'm like doing higher weights and all, the
Yes.
things that I had already told myself, like I had already put a limit, like, okay, I'm just gonna do this amount. I just want to get this weight down, and that's it. I'm just
Never
gonna
do
do.
that. Think the impossible.
Listen, I am here to tell the people.
Think the
Think the
impossible.
impossible.
That's it.
Think
Don't
the
limit yourself.
impossible. Yeah.
Cause what I said, don't even put it. I wouldn't even put a number. The
Yeah.
way I'ma look, I just see what it's gonna look like. Don't put a number on it.
And look, now, so now when I'm there, so I'm not training with her anymore, right? But we I was done or whatever. So she's like, okay, don't forget to keep going and just remember, increase your weights, right? So now I automatically like, okay, I started here. Okay, boom. So, tomorrow I'm increasing 10 pounds. I mean, I just now automatically think that, to where back in the day, and I've always kind of, since I was like 20 something years old, worked out, right?
Really
But
nice.
I would only do like a certain weight. I would only do a certain amount of weights. I never went beyond that. It was just my routine. I
Mm-hmm.
was locked in right on that. But of course, when you get older, I had gained weight during the pandemic. And so when
Mm-hmm.
you get older, it's a little harder, right, to
Yeah.
lose the weight. So you gotta, push harder. And when I tell you, so now I I know she was proud at the end, like, oh my gosh, like you said this, you weren't gonna wear your Apple Watch, you said you weren't gonna do this, you weren't gonna do that, and look at you. And so now I notice, I get like your client now, like you said, the client that on her own did what you told her to do
Did
about her
she
core.
remember what I
I
told her
get
to do?
I get it, because that's where I am now. It's like, okay, boom, you're going up on your weight. You know what to do. So I get like that, but that's the reward of it as a
Hmm.
trainer. You know what I mean? I know that's why I asked you, what are your roses, not
And
your
they
one
can
rose.
keep going. There's a lady that's she sued somebody and got almost $500,000 for a dog biting her arm. She
Mm,
could not lift her arm. This was it. That lady was able to lift 25 pounds in her arm when we were done. My
wow.
stories, they go on. They go on and on. I got a 96-year-old that was in class today touching her toes, sitting and standing. The
Wow.
stories can go on. And even I had a bride. Her dress came from Germany. There was no way for her to get it tailored in enough time. She just didn't, people just wouldn't touch the dress. We got her in that dress.
Got her in that dress.
So it's like there's so many different stories that I feel resonates. That's why I said if anybody Googles Paris Fit, you could just read the stories. They'll all resonate. Yes, we have the people that lost weight, people that gained weight, people that have strength, people that ended up having, their children. It's just the way I feel like the relationships that I also have with my clients helps them get faster to their goals because I always let them know it's not their goal, it's our goal. So
And
when they win, I win. It's not a you gotta lose. It's like, come on, we got this. I never say
right.
you got this. We got
Yeah.
this. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if I have
And
time to work out with you, I'll work out with you to push you.
yeah. And it's all about mindset. And like you said, it's all about getting them to shift, and even with me, that's where it started. It starts with your mindset, and to understand, like, there are no like you're talking about 90 something people. I shared on my Instagram earlier. I walk every day, and so I'll like share, something,
Hmm.
that I saw on my walk. So I live in a gated community, so in my area there's these two elderly men that are on my route every day. One, now they're easy 80 something years old, right?
Hmm.
One runs and one is on a walker, but he walks
I
every
know
day
that's
through the
right.
neighborhood, right? And
Yes.
what I posted was that I'm inspired by both of them.
Hmm.
Like the one, because he's on a walker, he still
Pushing.
inspired me because you're on a walker and you got it's like I have
Yep.
no and then when I see the older guy, the one that runs, he runs 3 times a day.
Wow.
Morning, I said he does it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I call it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This guy is out there running. And so when I see him, it motivates me to walk
Yes.
faster. And it reminds me that there is no excuse.
Mm-mm. Nope. There's
And
no
it's all
excuse.
up here. Yeah.
I seen a guy today in the gym. So I, even though I don't have my space, I'm a partner of Joseph Anthony. They only have 3 lead trainers and I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Joseph Anthony Spa in the Lowe's Hotel. Very, very chic. Very, I love it. A guy came in and he had a walker. No, well, he had a crutch. One of his foot, like his foot is like leaned like this.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Mm-hmm.
has to walk like this. He was in the, as soon as he walked in, I said, before you start, I'm proud of you. And that man used his crutch to go to each station and he did his full workout. Man didn't know
Wow.
me from a can of paint, but I was from the back. I said, I guess you are the winner of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't let that stop him. He was in the gym working
Yeah.
his upper body. And when you don't let your limitations hinder you from doing what you really want to do, you can go so far.
You can go so far.
You can go. So the sky is the limit. I told you, one day I'm gonna have a workout on the lawn at the White House.
At the
I
White
don't know
House. I
how.
believe it. I
I don't know
believe it.
how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen. And I put it out there. I've said it
Yeah.
many times. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I
Yeah.
almost thought that I was almost this close, but it's okay. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna invite you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you have anything coming up? Anything new? I know you
Yes.
mentioned one thing you have coming
National
up.
Workout Day. National
Okay.
Workout Day is May 3rd. It's our 5th annual. I do have a nonprofit called Paris Fit Wellness Foundation. This is a
Mhm.
free community event. We are here to lower the obesity rate in the city. In Philadelphia, the obesity rate is over 60% for adults and over 40% for children.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
we are here to make fitness fun. We're going to have everything from fitness, dance fitness, boxing, yoga, and also Pilates with Club Pilates. And we are going to also have a vendor village. So you can come out and shop the best of the best in the city.
I love it. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. You have
Thank
shared
you for
so much,
having
and
me.
you have, I guarantee, empowered and inspired our viewers.
Thank
I mean, just
you.
to believe, like I said, when I read your story, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
overcomer was the one word that came to mind. You are truly an overcomer, and I love
Thank
that
you.
you're taking that and pouring into the lives of others. You're serving others in all that you do, and it's a beautiful thing. It's I mean,
Yeah.
especially I have a heart for the elderly. So for you to say you heart that just warms my heart that you are giving hope to 90 something year old people. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing.
I love it. I love going in my city, and we just be having a time. We just be singing
Yeah.
our music, and they just be going. And it's so funny because the 96-year-old, I let her do whatever she wants. So
Yeah.
if she want to sit while everybody is standing, I say you sit your pretty self down and do what you want.
Yeah.
So today there's an exercise where they hold a ball and
Mhm.
they roll up and then they come down to like work their rotator cuff, right? And everybody has a spot on the wall. She's sitting in the middle trying to find a spot. I say, y'all not gonna do that to my girl.
Yeah.
I said, not on my wall. I said, come over here, pretty. I'm gonna give you your own wall. And they're like, oh no, I'm like, no, too late. She doesn't want your help, so I make it fun. And
Yeah.
she said, this is really good because she told me, she said the doctor said she's losing nerve damage in her hand.
Mhm.
She said, this is really good for my hand. Thank you for having us do this exercise. I said, well, you go ahead and
Wow.
you take that ball. And she said, they're
Yeah.
going to think I'm stealing it. I said, you let them know. I said, you could take it. Take
Yeah.
that ball. And it's little things like that. So, like,
Yep.
I make the class, or even like with the ball, they got to hold the ball and we're going out. And I'll say, if anybody dropping it, you're doing 50 push-ups. So I
Yeah.
make it fun for
Yeah,
them
yeah.
because they're like 80 and up. I call them my 80 and up club.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, any of y'all drop this ball, y'all doing push-ups. So then like it's funny when somebody drop it, I go, whoop, 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 you gotta do the push-ups. So it's literally work is fun. every
Yeah.
single day.
I can
Work
imagine. I
is so fun every single day. Even being like a fitness director at
Yeah.
the apartment buildings, I also do event planning for them.
Mm,
So it started off with
mm.
doing wellness events, and now they're like, "Well, the people love you. Can you just do every event?"
Every
So
event.
I
Yeah.
did bingo with the college kids yesterday. It was the
Yeah.
biggest. It was the biggest resident event that they've ever had. It was
Wow.
41 residents at 4 to 6, and I made all the residents give them a review in order to get an extra bingo card. So the property went from being a 3.4 rating to a 4.1.
Wow.
And everybody was so happy. I'm literally sitting there, we're listening to music, we're playing big. I make work as fun as possible. You
Yeah.
gotta love
Yeah.
what you do.
You
And that
gotta
goes
love.
for
Oh my
any
gosh.
any
Yeah.
job. Even when I was
Yeah.
an archaeologist, I'm digging dirt and it's 3 degrees outside. You
Mm-hmm.
ever use propane heaters to dig dirt? You're
Mm.
freezing. So
Yeah.
if I could leave with anything, love what it is that you do, talk life and positivity and everything it is that you do. Be a really be a servant. And because you're here to help others and truly
Yeah.
understand that. And somebody that is here to help you will come along.
Yeah.
And just be kind. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and
Yeah.
I promise you you will live such a fruitful life.
Thank you so much. I mean, we're
Thank
gonna wrap it up with that. That
you.
was beautiful. You've shared so much, and to our viewers, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you have received something. I know every viewer had to have received something from
Thank
this
you.
conversation. So I thank you, beautiful Paris, so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on the show. I thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can go back and view if you came on late, this show will be on our YouTube channel so you can go right back on and watch it from the beginning and get all of these tips. She gave some amazing tips.
Yeah.
She empowered the people. She inspired us. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel at I Can Do Biz. If you're already on YouTube, just click that subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank
I
you.
pray that you all have a blessed rest of your week. And as always, remember to finish strong Friday. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.